Happy Memorial Day. I have already fed my foster kittens and now I am out with my dog in my backyard. My veggies aren't doing so well because it's been cold. But here are my orchids. It's 59 degrees right now, so they've made it. You can see my Hawiara lava burst in bloom. This is Space Race Cocoa behind it, and oh, the flowers did suffer a little bit. Yeah, they're just drying up from the cold. Let's see what else. Oh, my maxillary tunifolia yamata, that yellow is inside. Let me get a video of that and add it. And then what else is it? Oh, let's see. This is my, what is this? Is this Leonis? Yes, this is Leonis. It is getting way too much sun. I keep moving it around. It got knocked over during the windstorm. And, well, now it wasn't a wind. It was just very windy and it was a storm, I guess. Not 70 some mile per hour winds. Here's my repotted. It doesn't even look like I took anything off. That's what's really sad. Guatemalensis, right? And then in front of it is, this is the Guatemalensis right here, this sad burnt thing now because I gave it way too much light, that I got from Orchid Trail last year, and it came in this huge basket. I don't know if you can tell. All right, and at the time I wondered, why, hey, did they send this plant in this huge basket? So it was, Orchid Trail's going out of business. He was selling off his personal collection, so I bought what I thought was a red Cattleya guatemalensis from him. And what I have discovered is that I can't water it in the winter, so it gets super dehydrated. So look at how dehydrated these pseudobulbs are. I just have a really hard time watering it in the winter. So I'm also going to repot this one, though I don't know if it's going to be today, because I'm probably going to have to saw through the basket to get it out. I mean, look at this. It is insane. But it also has new growth, so now it's the time to repot it or divide it. This is gonna get divided. I'm not keeping it this big. So it's this smaller Guatemalensis right here. So what I can't repot, but which also needs to be repot, is this Encyclia enlata that I got, I don't know, is it from the iOS? It's from the iOS. And it's huge. I mean, here's my hand, right? So you can see, but it's in bud right now. So I gotta wait till it finishes blooming before I repot it. It's just gigantic, and I love, it makes a really nice display when it blooms, but of course it is also like in a 10-inch pot. Here's my tray of Richard Mueller crosses that I have gotten. So you can see the blue tags. I mean, some of them are my blue tags, but a lot of them, the blue tags are from high desert orchids. These are lots and lots of seedlings. I'm gonna grow up and see what the flowers look like. And there are multiples of each one. So part of my crazy Richard Mueller obsession. But right behind it is what I hope will be this morning's project, which is my Lake Kachuma New Spring. So this is quite clearly growing out of its pot. I'm probably gonna take a division of it. The problem is so this is a big floofy purple Cattleya. I'll include a picture of it. It bloomed this year. But what I don't know is if I like it enough to keep it. It's, you know, between a mid, like, it's not quite a standard, right? It's under a standard size, but I'm really trying to move toward like mini cats. I guess it's technically a compact. So yes, so it has growths that have come off, hopefully some easy divisions, but I'm gonna have to take it out of semi-hydro, and so that will be a fun challenge for this morning. The other goal that I have is this right here is a community pot of Leopoldii var albina by a Clandier that I made last year. I made a bunch of plugs. I've sold most of them. I have a few plugs left, but they are very small, and I think I'm gonna compost them because I think they're just too tiny after a year. But I think it's time for everything that I made. So basically they came in a community pot from H&R Nurseries, and then I put them in another one. I also put a few in regular pot like this, and then I mounted one. This is Colmonara Wildcat Carmela in bloom here. Right next to the Wildcat is the Zygopetalum that I got for free, and I'm pulling off this yellow leaf. And you can see that even though I've treated everything, it still has scale. That is a young brown scale. So, I don't know, midicloprid or, you know, safari in another couple weeks again. This is the Cattleya perenniae that I got from High Desert Orchids. That's a duplicate because I accidentally, I don't know, I didn't find it in my database, maybe because I spelled it wrong, I'm not sure. But I already had one from Nats, and that one's a lot bigger. I may sell this one, though it's going to be pretty expensive because I think I paid $30 for it, and I would want to get back the cost on it. So we'll see. So last year I took kikis off my nobly type Dendrobium hybrids, and these two, Dendrobium Happy Lady and Dendrobium Spring Smile Lovely Paradise, have just not done well. So you can see they just, I don't know, they haven't really grown well. So here's some other kikis that I took off, and you can just see they're growing much better. So these two right here are free for the price of shipping. I'll probably unpot them, and I'm not responsible for any falling damage that happens for them because they're weirdly leggy. So free Nobly Dendrobium hybrid kikis for the price of shipping. Send me an email. I'm setting up to repot my late Kachuma New Spring, and I have a visitor inside my plastic container that I was going to use to control the mess. All right, I have my tools, and I have my cleaned razor blade, and I have a pot ready if I decide to keep the Lake Kachuma New Spring for semi-hydro, and I have a Pinto. So let's see how this goes. Oh, Pinto, you are so, you are like a pain in the butt. So I think the first thing I would like to do is see if I can just take this growth that has come out off as a single division. That would be the best thing, right? All right, let me see, get a tag and loosen these roots up. Pinto, you are just really in the way. You are so in the way. Have I indicated how much in the way you are? You're 100% in the way. This is so easy compared to yesterday. Well, all right. At least yesterday this thing was filled with water and I didn't have a Pinto in it. come out and we can just dump stuff on Pinto he's laying on a root. I mean, we're not going to use this pot again. I don't know. Oh no, of course not. I'm like just totally hitting you with the plant, aren't I? Boom, boom. Was that you? Was that you making a meow? So there's like a new growth here. Okay, so this side over here is the dead area. So all the new growth is here. I don't know if I can just cut this one out. It looks like this newer growth here is not part of this or cluster. It looks like that's part of this 3-piece here. So I can't just cut them off. I can try. And of course, the UV on this hasn't destroyed this pot enough that it just collapses, which would be awesome. But I'm not so lucky today. Yes, you're all dusty now. Not really containing the mess. I'm just putting the mess on Pinto. What do you think, Pinto? How should I get it? I guess we can get this wet. It'll make you even more messy in this whole process. And this is why I don't know how people can want to do semi-hydro in glass jars. I mean, okay, you've drilled through the glass jar, you haven't shattered it, but if you ever have to repot and it's grown well, how the hell will you get it out of the glass jar? I mean, I guess you have to smash the jar with a hammer. Oh, I've got like a solid ball of like moss that's grown inside with the semi-hydro. Oh, God. Ow, it hurts. It hurts, Pinto, it hurts. So this late Kachuma new spring has grown really, really well, which makes it like a plus on the keeper side. But I don't know. I really want spots, and I have basically been buying spots. I've had this, so I got this from Susan probably like 8 years ago, and you know, obviously it's done well, but you know, when I wasn't really sure what I wanted to grow. And yes, it's grown really well, but I don't need to keep purple in my collection. but I have to say its ability to grow makes it a plus. Oh, Pinto, why are you chewing at me? Oh, look at this. It's like the roots are all like way down into this. Oh, yay, Pinto has left. So this was the problem that I have when stuff grows really well with semi-hydros, that if you want to repot it, you basically have to shred everything to get it apart, or else you basically have to repot it as a block. I want to divide this. I don't want a large Lake Kachuma New Spring. I can't even get the tag separated from this. I mean, look at this. Oh, there we go. Oh, tried before, it didn't come. Now it's coming. All right, so we have old sections of this that should come off. Old, brown, we don't want to keep them. Yes, I'm just ripping it. And I actually did this when I did the Guatemalensis too. I just ripped out sections. I just didn't show it on video because it was like cruel and unusual punishment. Like with Lika, really, I mean, how do you get it out without basically, I mean, you can smash this. And I have taken these things, I have banged them up and down in the past, but I'm telling you that that is sometimes a losing proposition. All right, so I think if I want this division, I'm sure I'm gonna have to just cut these roots off right here. And oh. So it has the roots, very nice roots, have all grown down into the moss and the semi-hydro right here, and I don't know that I can separate it out. I'm physically trying to shake this stuff right now. And it is not going. If this was in bark, I would just divide it like right through here. You can see all that old stuff. There was like growth and it branched. You can see right where it broke off all that stuff. This is actually a separate piece now, but it is locked together like a block. So this is where I hate repotting in semi-hydro. Repotting in semi-hydro is really easy if your stuff is like dead or not doing well in semi-hydro. But if it's doing well in semi-hydro, it is really hard. Because it is like trying to peel apart cement. Progress. So this is what happened with my Odopepper Moby when I redid it like 2-3 years ago, and I have to do it again this summer because the pot is broken, is that I was able to basically take the dead section off, so I have half a plant now, and I could just put in a new pot. But dividing it is almost like beyond me. Oh, it's got scale. This needs to be washed. Okay, so I scrubbed a little bit at the spots of scale. I can't reach some of it because it's stuck on the roots right here. But on the other hand, I don't know if that scale is actually alive. So you can see when scale's alive and it's doing damage, it leaves, you know, yellowing behind as the insects suck on the plant. A lot of the scale that I found in other spots, there's no damage left behind, so it may have been old scale that was just hidden under the papery sheets that I did not take off. So we'll see. But I'm definitely going to take a division off of this. I do not know that I will save the main part of the plant. This is definitely still like rock-like. Oh. Ooh, that's Cupid. He sees birds. Oh, goodness. Okay, well, at least getting it wet helps a lot on the whole. I mean, this had been rained on, but I guess in a few days it dried. But yes, getting it wet to wash the scale has definitely helped in the whole shred the leaka off process. Either that or seeing the scale makes me care a lot less about salvaging any roots, and I'm using a lot more force. Can I get it off here? You know, this thing is like definitely a piece on this side and a piece on that side. Let's see. Okay, I just pulled something apart. Like that. Oh, awesome. Come. Where was the dividing part? I know this is separate. Oh, did I broke off the new growth. Oh. You just, I guess that was the snapping sound I heard. there we go. Here is the new growth division that I wanted. It doesn't have that new growth we're looking at, but it does have live nodes right there. That is the piece I am keeping. The rest of it, we do not have. Especially since we've broken off this piece now, and this looks now to be just, oh, did it have a leaves? The old growth right here. Yeah, this was too tender, came off. All right, so here's the other part of the remaining plant. This is blooming. Let's see if we can take that off as a division. Or maybe not as a division, we'll just separate everything else from it. The rest of everything else is going to stay. It's like attached to all the dead roots that are part of this. And of course with leca you cannot go through the hacksaw and just cut it because there's clay here. knock the phone over. Alrighty, this looks not too bad. I'll have two pieces, maybe we'll keep. Piece needs to be cleaned. Make sure that we get any old scale off of it. So maybe we'll make the other piece the division for sale, since it's out of semi-hydro. We'll put this one back into semi-hydro after we clean it up. So I don't know. Do we have new growths? Oh, we do have a new growth. So we have a new node with some scale on it right here. Okay, so cleaned. I am putting this one back into semi-hydro in the pot that I have available. Seems a little big. I may tie it afterwards to get this pseudobulb more upright. But I'm gonna try to give this the most space because it has the new nodes right there. Hopefully that's where the growths will come out. Clean hydroton right over here. And I have to bleach my existing hydroton. Now that the pandemic is ending, bleach is more available. It's hard to get for a while. People were neurotically cleaning, buying up all the bleach. Squeeze this a little bit to try to get it down to the bottom. So you have an empty space. quite as scraggly. It looks much better. Clean the tag and put it back in. So all done with that repot. Division for sale. And this is Lake Kachuma, New Spring. All right, here's the community pot that I made. Let's see how it did in the last year. So I potted up in pure sphagnum for my community pot. Oh, it's got some roots that are stuck to the side of the pot. Let me see if I can. The moss is wet. There. This is just mostly like, I didn't feel like I had enough space to put these up individually, so I did a community pot to save space. That one, I don't know what happened with that one. New growth. Let's see if we can't separate these. This one's pretty big. Wherever that little bit is, I got rid of. They should all go together. Is this one piece? It's got a tiny little thing attached to it. Sometimes the really little ones you don't want to separate from a big plant because it needs the extra moisture that the big plant helps generate to stay alive. I don't know if this little one's part of it. And sometimes those little guys just die anyways. I think this is a separate little plant. Oh yeah, so this I think is this tall growth. Do it without, it is one plant. Yeah, so this is one plant and this is one plant. Yeah, one plant. All right, so I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plants in here. This, so I have a mounted one. I don't know if I want to hold on to this one because see, it went from this little thing this really big new growth coming out. All right, I'm going to pot these up in a sphagnum bark perlite mix that I have right here that I made. Turned out I had the wrong kind of orchiata. So this little guy, oh, and this has a tiny baby attached to it. We'll just leave that tiny baby with it. You can see that tiny little thing right there. We'll just leave it. It'll probably die at some point. So this is some of the community pots that I get from H&R come in Jiffy pots, and this is basically the Jiffy pot attached to that root. Okay. So I could put them all in these size pots. See, the root's too long for this size pot. It might be okay. This one might be able to go in the bigger one, as could this one. All right, we've got a bunch of smaller pots right here. So I think I really like using sphagnum moss for seedlings, even if they're cattleyas, even though people are like, oh, that could, because I just don't water enough in the winter, and this really keeps my seedlings more moist. They all seem to do much better. I had the space to grow up all of these and see if the flowers looked different. Maybe I will. We'll see. Maybe I will make them available for sale on my website. I don't have room to keep everything. guess she'll still fit. I wonder if I should stick this in a 2-inch pot. Oop. That little thing keeps going, doesn't want to stay. Think bigger pot for these two. Hi, Pinto. I don't want to pot this one so this big growth is sticking up. Both of these want the big growth to be sticking up. There we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. To find room for 7 more plants. So I have achieved all my repotting goals for today, and thank you for joining me, and I hope it was interesting.